Live on DSTV, Channel 421, GoTV 125, all social media platforms, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. This is Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Caloni. Coming up in the next half hour, President John Dramani Mahama underscores the urgency for African nations to mobilize domestic resources and lessen reliance on external funding.
The Republic of Ghana continues to champion and advocate for member states to embark on due processes at the national levels to expedite the establishment of these institutions, recognizing their significance in promoting investment and financing our Agenda 2063.
And with less than 24 hours until the rerun of the Council of State elections in the Ashanti region, the MPP Parliamentary Caucus warns that the IGP and REGSEC will be held accountable for any security breaches.
Hold the current security leadership, specifically the IGP and the chairman of the Regional Security Council, fully accountable for any further disruptions if they do not change the venue.
And tension is mounting in Walewale as a resident protests the government's decision to impose a dawn-to-dusk curfew, citing alleged military brutalities amid the escalating Boko crisis.
The government must, with immediate effect, lift the curfew that it has imposed on we, the innocent people of Walewale.
I'm very, very disappointed in the military men in Walewale. Why? Are they fighting in Walewale? Is there conflict in Walewale?
And fears of cholera outbreak mounting on massive sewage leakage in a inundate part of the Tema metropolis, including major market, with residents sounding the alarm over the rapidly deteriorating sanitation crisis across the city. We have details and more after the short break. Please stay. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin from the presidency, because President John Dramani Mahama has stressed the need for African nations to harness domestic resources to reduce dependence on external financing. Delivering the keynote address at the Heads of State and Government Breakfast Dialogue at the AU Commission headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, President Mahama noted the numerous challenges facing the continent, including a big financing gap of around $402 billion annually until 2030. He called on African multilateral financial institutions to support Africa's economic transformation and the successful implementation of Agenda 2063. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba has more in the following report.
As the champion on African Union financial institutions, President Mahama hosted the event, which was a side meeting of the AU summit. President Mahama highlighted the numerous challenges facing the continent, including a big financing gap of around $402 billion annually until 2030. To close this gap, President Mahama called for a holistic strategy that prioritizes domestic resource mobilization, strengthens tax systems, and curbs illicit financial flows. He said the creation of key African Union financial bodies, including the African Central Bank, African Investment Bank, African Monetary Fund, and Pan-African Stock Exchange, is expected to enhance investment and financial access across the continent. He urged African nations to expedite the establishment of these institutions and leverage their collective power to address Africa's financing and investment shortfalls.
Similarly, the African Monetary Fund, the AMF, supports macroeconomic stability, which is crucial for investor confidence. The African Investment Bank is also pivotal in funding infrastructure projects such as energy, transport, digital transformation, while the Pan-African Stock Exchange is envisaged to integrate capital markets, making it easier for businesses to raise capital and thereby enhancing liquidity promoting intra-African investments, and providing alternative financing mechanisms for governments and the private sector. Ladies and gentlemen, progress is being made towards the establishment of this exchange, with the Commission and the African Security Exchanges Association working on the Exchanges Linkages project. This initiative also aims to enhance liquidity and facilitate capital mobilization across African nations. We encourage more African stock exchanges to join this important project. Undeniably, strong political will and effective policy coordination are going to be crucial for the successful implementation and overall impact of the African Union financial institutions. The Republic of Ghana continues to champion and advocate for member states to embark on due processes at the national levels to expedite the establishment of these institutions, recognizing their significance in promoting investment and financing our Agenda 2063.
The meeting was attended by high-ranking officials from various multilateral organizations, both within and beyond the continent, including the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Let me now take you to the Ashanti region, because the MPP caucus in Parliament says the Inspector General of Police and Regional Security Council should be blamed for any security breaches in the Council of State election rerun scheduled for Monday. This comes after a refusal to change the election venue to the regional police headquarters as proposed by the group. Spokesperson Vincent Eko Esafua says the security at the Regional Coordinating Council, where the first election was disrupted by some thugs, is compromised. The caucus also cautioned against any attempt to sneak some unauthorized persons into the Electoral College. Mr. Esafua has called for a free and fair electoral process.
This week, on Monday, as a caucus of Ashanti MPs, we had a press conference. The press conference was basically on the fact that there has been a Council of State elections, which Council of State elections had unfortunate incidences. Which unfortunate incidences we had the occasion to recount them, to the extent that the election was not able to come to a conclusion because there were incidents of thuggery, there were incidents of machoism, and we felt that that is not how Ashanti region have conducted itself since 1992. So the Ashanti caucus indeed was outraged by the decision after the occurrences that happened on Monday, that the Electoral Commission is now going to have the election at the same place that the election was held. You know that the Ashanti regional minister is the head of security in Ashanti region. So if we have an election in your zone and the election is not able to come to a conclusion, then it's a cause to worry. And so we signaled that the elections cannot be held at the same venue.
Juma joins us live on Zoom with details on the election there in Kumasi tomorrow. Nana, how are the various stakeholders preparing for tomorrow's election?
So, Carlos, before coming on air, we just received an update on the venue for tomorrow's election. Now, the police, led by DCOP Emmanuel Taikujo, who happens to be the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, the new one who replaced the previous one, DCOP Frank. The information that we are having is that it has been concluded that the venue be changed from the Regional Coordinating Council to the Prempeh Assembly Hall in Kumasi. And there are other protocols that have been put in place to ensure that this process is very peaceful. Now, the first among the process in place is that no one enters the new venue, that's the Prempeh Assembly Hall, the premises, with a vehicle. So all the people will have to get down at a point and walk to Prempeh Assembly Hall. including the candidates for this election. Also, these candidates are supposed to come with only 2 people. In the first election that was run, all the aspirants had the opportunity to come in with 5 people. Now they've been limited to come in with 2 people, and these 2 people include the agents that will help or ensure that they represent these aspirants in the voting process.
Right.
Also, apart from these 2 conditions, also the Electoral Commission have also assured the aspirants that the previous voter register that was used for the election that was disrupted, that is the same voter register that will be used. Now the police is also assuring that they will do all their best to ensure that this process is very peaceful. They promise to come in with enough men to ensure that the grounds are protected. So what we can say now is that all is set for tomorrow's election. One, police have protocols in place to ensure that they limit the number of people that get access to the voting area, the premises where the election is taking place, and also no vehicles are supposed to come into the premises. These are the protocols in place. All is set for tomorrow's election.
Thank you so much. Nana Ojima is our correspondent there in the Ashanti region. He's been monitoring the situation, and tomorrow we'll bring you details of the outcome of that election. But let me now take you to Walewale, because hundreds of residents of that town in the northeast region are protesting the decision by government to impose a dawn-to-dusk curfew. The protest was also against alleged military brutalities in Walewale and its localities. Clad in red, the residents stormed the palace of the chief of Walewale, Mba Durana, and expressed their displeasure. Now, the protest is also against alleged military brutalities in Walewale and its localities. Let's hear from some of the protesters.
Must, with immediate effect, lift the curfew that it has imposed on we, the innocent people of Walewale. Two, if the curfew should continue in Walewale and its environment, it means that the whole of Mamprogo has been drawn into this conflict, and for that matter, in this curfew, because Walewale is the heart of Mamprogo, and we have nothing to do with it. So if the military or the government want to really make sure that this thing is addressed, they have to withdraw the curfew. Other than that, they have included all Mamprogo in this thing. 3, we urge the government to, without delay, secure the safety of travelers along the Bolga-Boku-Pulumonko road to prevent further attacks in other parts of the country.
Military men in Walewale. In fact, what the people are doing, we are not ready for it. I'm very, very disappointed in the military men in Walewale. Why? Are they fighting in Walewale? Is there conflict in Walewale? Or why are they in Walewale killing our men and women? Going around stealing our properties? Why? Can government tell us what is happening? Let me tell you, the curfew that you people are trying to impose in Walewale, it will not solve the problem. It can never solve the problem. We are not ready to take it. Why? Why are they doing that to us? Is there conflict in Walewale? I'm asking you people, tell us.
Well, from Walewale, let's now head to Tema. But before then, let's speak to my colleague, Tanko Iliasu, who is joining us live on Zoom. Tanko, can you hear me? Well, before we speak to Iliasu Tanko, this is his report from Walewale.
In order to prevent further violence, that is why the Interior Minister decided to impose a curfew. As you saw in the demonstration, there was a serious protest that was held yesterday against this particular decision to impose curfew. The residents are saying that there is no active violence in Walewale, so they do not understand why government is deciding to impose curfew on them. Most people that I've spoken with say they believe this is politically motivated because they see no reason why government should impose a curfew on Walewale. Again, these attacks, according to them, have been occurring during daytime and not at night. And so imposing curfew on them effectively will not yield any possible result. So yesterday, they kicked against this particular imposition of curfew. The regional minister came there to explain things, but things turned violent. And we saw pictures of the regional minister's official vehicle, quite some damages around it. And so because of that confusion, police were called in. And when they came, they opened fire, leading to the death of one person in Walewale. As I'm told, the person has just been buried. It's been a very tense situation in Walewale.
Right. We cannot take you to Tema because massive overflow from large soccerways has inundated public spaces and markets across the Tema metropolis, creating an unbearable stench. Concerned residents say the worsening situation has forced some shop closures in affected areas as they fear the leaks could trigger cholera outbreak. My colleague James Ishen has more in the following report.
The area surrounding the Tema Metropolitan Assembly is plagued by significant sanitation challenges, including clogged gutters, litter scattered between stores, and overflowing rubbish bins. These issues are creating a persistent and unpleasant smell, with one of the major spillovers posing serious health risk to local residents. Emmanuel, a taxi driver in the area, expressed concern over the health hazards posed by the situation, emphasizing the urgent need for action.
For the past week now, the switch having a problem, and we call upon the assembly to come see to it, but they couldn't. They couldn't come. So it's giving us a problem here. So many scents and all over. We can't stay around, we can't chop, we can't do anything at all. But it's not good at all. So we are calling upon the opinion leaders to come and help us. Oh, they will say that they will do it. That's any time they say they will do it. But a week now, we didn't hear any response from them again.
Several food vendors have also been severely impacted by these conditions as they struggle to maintain their businesses amid an unsanitary environment.
Market because me cry me betu se BBC me nto ade wo me by Friday no so enumre no betu so omoye ba me ni made nti a master no entumi ntwa enumre no ya betu se card na ho a Friday enumre no be 4 o'clock ka bet but still no say minim se omo na omanye ni ye say edwuma na esusin omo enti na ma problem no gusu wo
affecting because because obi be didi 1 cent no bo fa no so a enye good way nti enye kran so mpemfu no esra omo mahwe na omo yaman oyo omo bi say den na ye ka fa ho ana na say yetie mefu edwuma wo so omo mbeye omo abehye bo mo ntimi aye na omo so omo kwa bo omo kwa omo amba bio.
Richard, a local shop owner, shared that his business and those of his colleagues have been forced to shut down due to the worsening sanitation crisis.
Market not go on because people know the pass here, they buy our thing. You see, my shop this. Say 2 weeks, I know the fee open them. You see, me too. I get 2 kids, but they want them. So he had give me. What I could chop say he have give me. So what he did with that? Yeah. I see the workers. They say they on top. They come. They work for the market. They credit for the market. They come. So maybe they say maybe for next week going they go reach here.
When they have done too much, but almost 2 weeks. They can't emba market cry. Na sana yesati ba. Pa onse ombe here my. The when they have done sent no so high. First can't pay free anymore. Don't buy no some be na feed and jam still as the same thing. When you go to this side to the same thing, center to the same thing. Then The one band the mutumi be maya na buana be yama intentem.
Vendors and residents alike are calling for swift intervention from authorities to address the mounting challenges. For Joy News, James Ishen.
Now, away from that, Bono Regional Minister Joseph Adaya Kwabwa has said he will not tolerate any activity that destroys water bodies and forest cover in any of the 12 districts, in line with the promise of President John Dramani Mahama to the people of Ghana. In his maiden media engagement in Sunyani, the minister said steps would be taken to engage cattle herders and farmers for a sustainable solution to the destruction of farms to avert the potential escalation of attacks. Precious Semevo has more.
In his first engagement with the media in Sunyani, the Bono Regional Minister Joseph Adaya Kwabwa said as much as he encourages free reportage of happenings in the region, stories must be well cross-checked with his doors always open to assist in any way possible. He believes accurate reportage could boost investor confidence in the region.
I'm a young man, yes, and therefore I have more energy. I have more connections to bring projects into this region. I would therefore need a healthy media to assist me achieve the vision that I have for the region.
He said his mandate is to help reset the region in infrastructure, roads, health, education, employment, and agriculture, among others, with the hope of a legacy project by the end of his term. He insists all activities that degrade the environment, like illegal lumbering and mining, will be fiercely resisted.
John Dramani Mahama to stop illegal mining in the Bono region, and which I am going to do. I'm also going to stop those chainsaw operators who have illegally entered the forest reserve. I have a mandate and I'm going to use it properly. We should preserve our forest, and in so doing, I am going to make sure that nobody enters the forest illegally. And I'm going to do that with the forestry, and in no time, there will be guidelines.
The minister also said he would engage stakeholders in the activities of cattle herders to avert clashes with farmers and ensure food security.
Very soon we are going to engage the leaders of these cattle herders and the farmers, because we've had so many complaints from the farmers, and it came out during the REGSEC meeting. And if we don't do something to stop it, it will create problem for us in the future. A time will come, we will not even get food to eat. So all that we will do is to engage both parties. We will bring some guidelines, and then we see how to resolve these issues.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyani.
Now, German Ambassador to Ghana, Daniel Kroll, is urging the government to strengthen climate efforts and collaborate internationally to reduce its carbon footprint. In an interview with Joy News, he stressed Ghana's role in tackling climate change and emphasized supporting not-wet farmers facing drought. He suggested irrigation farming as a solution. Kroll made these remarks at the commissioning of the Funsi Women Irrigation Project in the Upper West region. Joy News correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Funsi.
The project, codenamed Empowering Village Women Groups through Sustainable Small-Scale Irrigation, is a community-led initiative designed to improve the livelihood of 40 women farmers in Funsi, located in the Wise district of the Upper West region. The project provides sustainable irrigation system enabling women to cultivate crops year-round, regardless of seasonal rainfall. It is being implemented by High Chile, a non-governmental organization based in Calabar in the Solotuna Calabar district in the Savannah region, and funded by the German Embassy in Ghana. The 1-acre mini irrigation farm, constructed by Tech2 Resources Limited, includes a fully fenced solar mechanized pump. The cost of the project is valued at 300,000 Ghana cedis. Daniel Kroll is the German ambassador to Ghana.
Well, we have a small fund at the embassy. We can support project with social impact. We also like to add some technological element to it to try to give proof of concept that other people can see what can be done, and we hope that others will copy the idea and will improve livelihoods here in the Northwest.
Now moving on, Chenrai Brands Limited has officially launched the new Blue Band 10 kg pack. According to marketing manager Vanessa Boafo, this is to reaffirm the brand's commitment to delivering high-quality, nutritious and affordable solutions to families and businesses across the country. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch.
The new Blue Band 10 kg pack does not only signify a growth in the product portfolio, but shows the commitment to responding to the evolving needs of the company's valued consumers and stakeholders. The company said its aim to provide exceptional value without compromising on the quality that Blue Band is known for.
So with this 10 kg introduction, we are working in partnership with our sales partners, Far East Mercantile Limited. They have distribution across the entire country, and you can get the products with all leading wholesalers and distributors all across the country, because our team has quite an extensive coverage of the entire nation. So anybody that wants the products for sale can easily get it at any top distributor or wholesaler in the market.
The company said it will explore everything to offer its consumers with quality goods.
Blue Band is a 100 years old product, and it contains the required vitamins and all those flavors which are very good for baking and for spreading purposes. We are already in the business for spread for bread and BBO, which is called Original. Now it's a new launch for catering margarine, which is suitable for caterers and for to make any type of cooking, like breads, croissant, and other things. It's a very sizable product, and in future we're also bringing 5 kg, 15 kg, as well as 20 kg. So we are very, very hopeful that this product and this launch will be very successful in Ghana market, because it contains very good ingredients and nutrition.
Well, that's all we have in this half hour. We have a lot more stories on myjoyonline.com. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Carlos Caloni. Good evening.